Ask Kynny what she thinks about that.
Hey guys, in today's episode of Ask Kynny, I'm going to answer a few of the questions that I've gotten so far. And if you have anything you'd like to know, go ahead and leave your questions down in the comments below. So, the first question I'm going to answer is, how did you come about this? Pretty sure that means my podcast. And basically, a few years back and multiple times I was sitting around with my friends just talking about life and, or talking through things that we're going through. And we had such amazing conversations and just so many great pieces of advice and just sharing who we are. And I thought, you know, we're pretty funny. I bet people would like to join this conversation with us, or me and someone else, as the case may be. And I just want to be able to have conversations and share stories and experiences, and maybe something that I've been through in my life can help someone else out in their life, things of that nature. And so I thought, man, we should be recording this for people. So that's kind of the background on where the whole idea came from. Um the next question is, why did it take 3 years in the making? And that's just because, you know, getting started isn't easy. Just things get in the way. I had other things going on. I was getting back into playing music and spending a lot of time focused on that and just other things, and I just never got around to it. And then I became part of this amazing YouTube community, and in numerology, this is a 1 year, like a start kind of a year, and I just thought, this would be the perfect time to start it, and everything in universal timing. So here we are. Um, what is the most difficult things to sort out and prepare? For me, the most difficult thing is the fact that my podcast is really centered around conversation. So trying to navigate how to do things on my own as well, so that I'm not always shackled by needing to have someone to have conversations with in order to put out content is challenging for me. Um, Finding things that I want to talk about for a period of time is hard by myself. I'm great in a conversation with other people, but just sitting here yakking at you guys for 30 minutes is not easy. And so I would say that's probably the most difficult thing, is just trying to figure out how to get this going and then getting acclimated to it. And doing recordings, editing, thumbnails, there's a lot to actually learn. And you don't really realize what the content creators go through, not only trying to make recordings, but researching, making thumbnails, slides, some of them, being told what to do and what to say and what not to say and how to say things by people in their audiences, which I am a firm subscriber to Team Don't Tell Content Creators what to do, what to say, how to do it, or how to say it. And so, yeah, I guess that would be the hardest part. I also have been asked a couple of times about the pink foofy mic, and the reason I have a pink foofy mic that makes colors is because I like color. I like things that are bright. I like lights. I like furry things. I like fuzzy things. I like things that are fun and girly. And so I had to have something just a little bit, you know, fun. And let's see here. I'm going to switch over to this other screen. This question is, how did you get into music? So I started singing as a wee little child. I was probably 6 or so. For me, that was second grade. Uh, I our class was having a show where we were doing Peter Pan's White Christmas. It was like White Christmas song was the main theme song for the show that we were doing, and the little girl who was playing Wendy got sick, and so they asked if there was anyone else who had learned the song, which was White Christmas, and I raised my hand, and so they had me sing it, and they realized that I could really sing, and so that was the beginning. That was my first solo, and then I started getting solos after that. I started singing in church. I think the first time I sang in church, I was about 6 years old. My grandma played the piano for me, and I sang to the big church, which is what I called it, which was the adult service. And then after that, I was in children's choir at church. I was in choir in school all growing up, and in high school, I did a couple musicals. I used to sing for assemblies. I've sang the national anthem for football games. Um, I sang in church my whole life. As I got to be a teenager in high school, we had a youth group, and we started a Wednesday night live band, and I was the lead singer for that. And then I would sing at evening church services sometimes. And then as I got older, I would go to karaoke, which is always really fun. I love a good karaoke. I started singing with a friend of mine who was running an open mic night here in town, and he played the guitar and sang and was in a band, and we would get together and I would do harmony and sing harmony with him. So I would sing with him at the open mic night, and then sometimes I would sing like a couple a cappella songs by myself. And then I started hanging out with a girl who played the guitar, and turned out I had learned to play the guitar in fourth grade, and I still could kind of remember basics of it. So I picked up the guitar and started playing, and eventually started writing songs back then. And that was, like 20 plus years ago. And then I just kind of got into more of a going out and dancing with my friends phase and stopped playing music, and I stopped being around musicians. And then the next thing you know, 20 years went by, and I had picked up my guitar very few times over those 20 years. You can see a couple of those times on my YouTube channel. They're like 9 years old or so. I played a couple songs and recorded and put them up, just cover songs. And then finally, I think it was about 3 years ago, I decided to pick my guitar back up after being reintroduced to musicians and being around musicians. It really sparked my need to want to sing again. So I picked up the guitar and started playing and writing again. And then eventually I have now started playing the baritone ukulele. It's a little bit smaller, a little easier for me to play. I have tiny little hands and short little arms. So now I play the baritone ukulele, and I've been writing songs on that and putting songs up on my channel. And yeah. So let's see. The next question is from Gelf. Gelf asks, do you put the toilet paper over or under? And I feel that this is a very important question. I am an over kind of person. And in the original instructions on how to use toilet paper, that is what it shows as the proper way to do it. I like it to go over because you can get to it easier. When it's under, it's like, I don't know, I hate it when it's under. And when I go to somebody's house and they have it under, I have to really resist the urge to switch it to over. But I would never. Jesse and Max asked if you were going to be a Survivor. Oh, I forgot. I forgot about this one. I was supposed to think really hard about this. If you were going to be on Survivor, and they let you bring one item as long as it can fit in your backpack, what would you bring? Well, I have to be honest, my first thought was my herb and my pipe. Because, I am a 420 girl. So I would bring my 420 accessories. But then I thought, how helpful is that going to be to me? It'll be helpful in the sense of keeping, my headspace normal and good for the other players because I would be better to deal with, but probably not so helpful in the survivor journey. I was supposed to come up with something else. I haven't. I don't know what else I would bring. Maybe that could be a discussion that we all have one time where we can all sit around and think of what would be the best one thing, or, a list of, things to choose from that would be the best thing that you could bring. Because I honestly don't know. Let's see. What else do we have here? I don't know which direction I'm going. Not that direction. We're going this direction. Christina asks, how long do you leave your tree up for? I left one out that I am now decorating for Valentine's Day, making ornaments and stuff. I highly recommend if you like the festivities of Christmas all year. I bet a Valentine's Day tree is adorable. As you can see, I have finally taken my tree down. It's in a lot of my videos. A lot of my videos are shorts from a couple of lives I did a while back, so of course it's going to be in there. And it's in my thumbnail for my channel because that's where it was when I took my picture, but it depends. Normally I work really hard during Christmas season, so I haven't really decorated for the last few years because my stuff isn't with me right now. It's in storage and it's just not super easy for decorating, but it kind of depends on how soon I got my decorations up. If I get my decorations up in, say, November after Thanksgiving or early December, I'm going to be more likely to take it down closer to like New Year's. Never before New Year's. I've never, ever taken my Christmas stuff down before New Year's. And generally, I really like Christmas decorations. I love Santas. I have a ton of Santas. And I love to have Christmas all over the place when I have time to do it. So it only comes around once a year. So it's a lot of work putting all that stuff up and taking all the stuff down. I gotta pause. I just totally had a sneezing fit. So anyways, as I was saying, never before New Year's do I take my Christmas stuff down. This year I left my tree up a little bit longer, just because I just hadn't gotten to it. But I don't usually leave it down all the way through January, usually maybe a week or so in. Let's see. Okay. One of my friends came through and left a message that says, and she probably didn't expect me to actually read this in a video, but I'm gonna. It says, why does Ronnie, who is one of my besties, hate Bruce Springsteen with the fire of 1,000 suns? I don't know, but we need to get her on here to talk about it. Because, man, she literally hates Bruce Springsteen. It's actually kind of hilarious. So we won't be singing "We Didn't Start the Fire" around her. But maybe I can get her on to answer that question, because that would be funny. So it looks like that's all the questions that I have for now. I don't think I missed anything. All this is jumping through them quickly, so it's like going two at a time for some reason. So we're going to call that the end of this show. But if you have any questions that you would like to ask me, or you'd like to know about me, what I might think about something, really pretty much anything except for politics or anything polarizing, because we don't do that on this channel, go ahead and put them in the comments and I will get back to you. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you around the way, and sending you lots of love.
Ask Kynny what she thinks about that.